Okay, so for this video, I'm going to combine 10-4 and 10-5. That's what your goal is this week, is both of these out of Go Math Book. And the reason I'm doing that is because after looking at both of the lessons, they're basically the same thing. 10-4 is called placing the first digit, and it really doesn't do a whole lot. It's just dividing. It's all about getting the first digit, which if you can divide anyways, this is no big deal at all. And then 10-5 is just titled divided by one digit, but that's actually what you're doing over here too is. So I'm going to just show you a review on how to divide. And then what we'll do is we'll go back in the book and I'll give you the page numbers, and then we'll flip through and I'll work some of these problems out. Okay, there won't be two videos, it'll just be one video. So going back to remembering how to divide. So I'm just going to make up a problem here, and I'm going to divide by 5 just because most of us know our multiples of 5. So I'm going to do 5 divided by 425. Okay, now remember this digit right here, because this number is being divided by 5, this thing is called the divisor. He's the one that's actually doing the dividing. You're making groups of 5. You're trying to figure out how many groups of 5 it's going to be to get to 425. So basically what we're saying is how many 5s are in 425. So a good way to do this, if you don't know where to get started, is to make a little small multiplication chart. Or if you have a multiplication chart, that's fine too. But I'm going to just come over here and I'm going to start writing some 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'll go to 30. If we need to go more, then that's fine too. But remember, we have 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, 5 times 5, 5 times 6. So when I teach this, and you guys probably remember me saying, now Miss Sanford kids, you might not, but in my kids, I call it, we bump. B-U-M-P, like bumpers in a bowling alley. We bump. Okay, if you've ever been bowling and they bring out those big bumpers, they kind of make parallel lines like that. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to separate that 425 into 4, into 2, into 5. So another strategy is you can rip off a little piece of paper if you have a card or something, and I call it bump and cover. So I'm going to cover everything up except for that first digit. And then I ask myself, okay, is anything times 5, can we get that into 4? And if you look, my very first multiple of 5 is 5, so there is nothing below 5. So this doesn't work. Okay, that does not work. 5 did not go into 4, and we just scoot our paper over. Now we did not use the 4, so this never got used, so now we extended our number to 42. So if I look here now, I'm nowhere near 42, so I'm going to add a couple more. So 35, 40, 45, okay? So we've got 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, 5 times 5, 5 times 6, 5 times 7, 5 times 8, 5 times 9. Well, 45 is too big. It's too big. It goes too far because we never want to go further than that number. 40 is my perfect number. So your answer goes on top. And a good way to think about this is if you put your multiplication table, your multiplication sign above that divisor number, and think about what number times 5 gets me to this 42. Well, we already know it's 5 times 8. So 5 times 8, okay? And then we write our number down here. 5 times 8 is 40. And we're going to take that 40 away from our 42, which is 2. And then our next step, we can't do anything else, so we just move our paper over again. And we drop that. And our new target number now is 25. We come back to this over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is right here. So 5 times 5 is 25. And we're done. And here's the way you know you're done. There's nothing else to drop. There's nothing else over here to drop. Once there's nothing else over here and you've done your last subtraction, you're good. Okay, so my 85 is my number. So I know 85 groups of 5 I'm going to work backwards to double check myself. Should be 425. So 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 2 is 42. There's my 425. Okay. One more quick one, and then we'll start looking at some in the book. And we'll do something that's not a 5. So let's try. I'm actually going to just pick one out of the book. I'm on page 460. Oh, no. 365. So I'm on page 365. Okay. And let me show you real quick where I am. Might as well, if I'm going to do an example, I might as well give you one out of the book. So I'm on page 365, and I'm going to just start working right here. So I'm going to do these 3 right here. That way I'll have the first 3. We'll do them together, and then we'll move on to 10.5. Okay, so number 1 is the divisor of 8, and we're trying to figure out how many 8s it takes to get to 720. All right, so same thing. I'm going to bump those. All right, and you got to think about multiples of 8 this time. So, I've got 8, 16, 24, 32, and you could keep going all the way to 80 if you wanted to. Now, I do know my multiplication facts pretty good. If you guys are rusty, that's okay. Find your multiplication chart. Just Google multiplication chart, and I'm sure you'll find one. I know that nothing times 8 will make 7. Oops, hold on, forgot my paper. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put my little thing right here, my little multiplication symbol. Okay, so nothing times 8 will even get close to that. So I'm going to continue this. So 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 80. Okay, so there's all 10 of them. All right, so 7 didn't work. Let me move over. Okay, now I've got a 72. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 of them made 72. So that way we don't even really have to worry about subtracting anything. That was easy. And then we drop. Okay, when we drop and we have nothing but 0, literally that just means, does anything that's an 8 go into 0? And the answer is no. So we just put a 0. Every time you drop, you got to put something on top, and we're done. We don't even have to worry about anything else. That one's done. Finished. 90. Okay, number 2. All right, number 2 is 173 divided by 4. Once again, I'm going to bump. And I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Now, obviously, the goal is to have your multiplication facts memorized, and you don't have to do this. And we'll probably do that on the next couple examples. Okay, so starting again, we bump and cover. And does 4 go into 1? So literally, if I have 1, can you make 4 out of that? And the answer is no, no way. So we'll put a 0 here, and we scoot over. 17. Okay, well, I know nothing times 4 makes 17, so let me look at my 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5 of them is 20. We can't go further than that number, so that won't work. So we're going to back up to right here. So we know 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 times my 4 is 16. And I get 1 left over, and we drop. Okay, so now our number is 13. So we come back. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3. This time 4 is too many, so we won't use that one. So we'll back up and we'll go to this one. So we'll do 3 of them. So 3 times 4 is 12. Now this one's a little different. It's got a remainder. But once again, like I just said, there's nothing else over here to drop. So when there's nothing else to drop, then we're done. So our answer is 43 with a remainder of 1. So we've got a remainder of 1. Number 3. All right, number 3 is 511. And we're dividing by 7. I'm going to do this one with my multiplication fact skills this time. All right, 511, what's 7? Okay, but I am going to cover. Does anything times 7 make 5? No, it does not. So we're going to put a 0 here, and let's scoot over to 51. Okay, well, I know 7 times 7 is 49, which that's probably my good answer. And if I did one more, 7 times 8 is 56. Okay, that's too big. So we're going to go with this one. So 7 times 7 is 49. And that would be a difference of 2. Drop my last one over here. And I know that 7 times 3, is 21. So 3 times 7 is 21. And I'm done. No remainder, nothing else to drop. 73 is my answer. Okay, so that was page 365. This one was 90. And then we had 43, remainder 1. And then we had 73. All right. Okay, so that's 10.4. Let's go look at a couple off of 10.5. Yellow page. And I like 10.5. I like it, even though it's got some longer ones. Okay, it's the same thing, and they even gave you some of the grid paper on here. All right, I'm going to work problems from the book. And tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and use the book. So I am on page 371 right now. All right, and I'm going to do this number 2 right here. It's a 4-digit number. That's the dividend. Okay, so we got a longer number, and some of you might be going, "Oh my God, that's so hard." It's not. You're just going to do one more. Okay, it's no big deal. So you're just going to do another 3. So it doesn't matter, because what you're going to do is cover anyway. It would just be you moving the paper over one more time. Okay, so let me zoom in. All right, same as before. We're going to put our little multiplication symbol on the top of that 3, and we ask ourselves, okay, how many 3s fit into 6? All right, well, I know 2 times 3 is 6. Nothing left over, and we move over. All right, now we've got 2, so we drop 2. Now our target number is 2. Does 3 fit into 2? No. So we put a 0. Nothing happens. And we move over. Since we didn't use the 2, now we're looking at 24. So 24 is our target number. I know 8 times 3 is 24. Nothing left over. Move over. Drop that last 6. And I know 2 times 3 is 6. 0. Nothing left to drop. I'm done. My answer is 2082. Okay. We'll do one of these big ones down here. Let's look at number 5. We'll have to do that one on paper. Number 5 is 2078 divided by 5. Okay, so 2078 divided by 5. I like to work these out on regular paper and make them nice and big, so I have plenty of room and I can do all my little strategies on here. Okay, get my piece of paper. All right, does 5 fit into 2? No, it does not. Scoot over. 20. Ooh, easy. I know 4 times 5 is 20. Nothing left over. Scooch over. Drop that 7. 5 times anything get to 7? Yes, it does. 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Scooch over. Last number. Drop that 8. And 5 times 5 is 25. This one's going to have a remainder of 3. Nothing else to drop, so remainder of 3. So 415, remainder of 3. And by the way, I'm going to show you real fast how to double check that when you've got one with a remainder. So if you want to check yourself you're going to take the 415, because that was the answer, was 415. We just had a little bit left over. You take the 415 and you do it times 5 times the divisor. 25, 5, 6, 7, and 20. And then you add the remainder back on. And we get 8702. And there's my 2078 right there. So you just do your answer times the thing you were dividing by, which is the divisor, and then you just add the remainder back to the answer. All right, let's do some word problems. I'm going to go back to 10.4, and I'm going to go to this back page back here. This is page, what page is this? This is page 366. Okay, and we'll do one of the multi-step ones. Let's do number 19. Okay, we'll look at number 19. So page 366, number 19. Okay, Mr. Parsons bought 293 apples to make pies for his shop. Okay, so we know he bought 293 apples. So this is what we have. We have apples. So 293 apples. All right, 6 apples are needed for each pie. Okay, so we know it takes 6 for one pie. Okay. Mr. Parkson makes the most apple pies possible. How many will be left over? Left over, meaning remainder. We're looking for the remainder here. Okay, so we're going to do our division. So we're going to take 293. We're going to see how many groups of 6 we can create. And whatever's left over will be our remainder. We're going to cover and bump. All right. And I'm going to use my pen to cover up right here. Does 6 fit into 2? No, it does not. We scoot over to 29. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. So let's go with 6 times 4, which is 24. And I get 5 left over. And I drop my 3. Okay, well, think about this. 53 is my target number. I know 6 times 10 is 60. So that means 6 times 9 was 54. That's really close, but that's still a little bit too much. So let's go with 8. So 8 times 6 is 48. And 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. That's a difference of 5. So I've got a remainder of 5. So he'll be able to make 48 pies, but he's going to have 5 apples left over because he needs 6 to make a pie. So he's going to have a remainder of 5. Okay. All right. So that's page 366. Let's go do one off of 10.5 yellow page on the back. We'll look at another one of the word problem multi-step ones. All right. So now I am on page 372. And this is 13. Remember, anytime in this video, you can pause it and work these out. Okay. But right now I'm going to page 372, number 13. Okay. Last one we're doing. Jessica wants to read 1,500 pages over the summer break. So far, she has read 412. If she reads the same number of pages each week for 8 weeks, how many pages will she have to read each week to achieve her goal? So we are trying to read this book. We've already done this much. So the first step is we're not dividing anything. We need to figure out what she has left. So we had 1,500 total. We've already done this many. So let's take that away. Borrow, distribute. Okay, oops, that should be a 10. There we go. All right, so this is 8, 8, nothing, 1. All right, so that's what we have left. That's how many pages we have left of our book. And we're doing it in 8 weeks, and we want to know how many we need to read per week. So 1088 divided by 8 weeks. So 1,088 pages divided by 8 weeks. We cover and bump. There we go. All right. Does 8 fit into 1? No, it does not. So we scoot over Now we're looking at 10. That's easy. 8 times 1. So we're going to go with 1 times 8 is 8. 2 left over. Drop my 8. All right. How many 8s make 28? Well, we've got 8, 16, 24. 24 is too big. No. 24 is perfect. Sorry, it's 28. So yeah, 24 should be good because the next one will be 32. So let's do 3 times 8 is 24. 4 left over. Drop that very last number. We're almost done. Target number is 48. And I know 8 times 6 is 48. So we're going to go with 6 times 8 is 48. Nothing left over. She needs to read 136 pages every week, and she'll hit her goal. All right, guys. Wednesday, I'll be available if you need help with any of these. I'm probably going to be getting a lot more of you on the Zoom this week because division, it's been a little while. Remember, just try to get you a multiplication chart, okay? Use my bump and cover strategy, one number at a time, okay? You're never going to achieve these by just doing it all of a sudden. You've got to chunk it up, go into the 2, then move over to the 6. Make sure you're bumping and covering. It's a lot easier that way. All right, guys, I hope you're having a good week, and we'll see you later. We'll talk soon.